our hands together. Let's act like we appreciate him. Brother Minister Nuri Muhammad, all praises due to Allah.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, family. All praises due to Allah. Thank you. Thank you, brothers and sisters. All praises due to Allah. All praises due to Allah. All praises due to Allah. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is indeed his messenger. I'd like to greet my sisters and my brothers in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Man, it sure feels good to be among Muhammad Mosque number 74. All praises are due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. Before I even get started, I want to thank Almighty God, Allah, for the great help in our brother and our minister and assistant here, Minister Reggie Muhammad, for the last month. We thank Allah for you, Brother Muhammad. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All praises are due to Allah. And I want to pay special recognition. I want to pay special recognition to the true believer. That is not a personality worshiper. That irregardless to the face, they still found their way to the right place. And irregardless to whether the individual that you are used to hearing is present or not, the truth is always present. We are here to die. We are born to leave the earth. We would like to be here for a long period of time. However, tomorrow is not promised to near one of us. And since tomorrow's not promised, then we thank Allah for every moment that we receive. But if someone that we admire, someone we respect, someone that we love happens to die or passes away, we still say as a Muslim, all praise is due to Allah. Because that person that you seen that was great was nothing more than the conduit of the energy and the spirit and the wisdom of God for a short period of time on earth. And like the electrical current that moves through the copper wire is too strong for the copper wire, so it is with the Spirit of God that moves through man is too strong for the flesh of man. So as the God moves through man, sometime in 75, 80, or 100, or 200, or 600 years, the copper flesh burns out. But the Spirit of God, the truth of God, the wisdom of God never leaves the scene. It just connects itself to a new copper, to a new black man, to a new black woman. And the truth and the wisdom and Spirit of God lives on from infinity to infinity. So I thank Allah for the work of him and the true believers that made it happen. In the midst of opposition, all praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. Today is Easter. And we thank Allah for him coming in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the one wise, true, and living God that came among us and raised up in the midst of us a divine leader, a divine teacher, a divine guide, a Georgia-born God in the personage of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we are thankful in this modern moment that he gave us such a champion today that has been a champion for a long time, but decided not only to be a champion in the fight and defeat the devil, but to get in the corner of the righteous as a trainer for you and me. Surely we need a trainer if we want to defeat the devil. Anytime you are going to face great opposition, the wise decision for you to do is to find a trainer. Is that right? And it's even wiser to find a trainer that has already accomplished the victory that you are seeking to secure. Well, we have borne witness with the work of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, that the Jews got in the ring and he knocked them out. The government has gotten in the ring and he's knocked out the government. The Negro buck dancing, bootlicking preachers have got in the ring with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and he's knocked them out. So if we desire to defeat the devil, to defeat the government, to defeat the falsehood that messes with the life of black people today, then we have to study the methodology of a champion. And then it's beautiful that the champion will get in the corner with us and give us the same training regimen that he endured. Do you know what it means to be trained by a bad and wise trainer? A trainer helps you to go longer than you would go on your own will. A trainer helps you to go faster than what you would move on your own mind. A trainer helps you to develop more strength than what you would lifting weights by yourself. Well, we thank Allah that we have such a trainer today, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All praise are due to Allah. Today is such a beautiful day. The white man has made it a holiday that he has set out aside, supposedly to honor the resurrection of Jesus. But we don't find a whole lot of images of Christ inside of J.C. Penney's or inside of Parisians or Nordstrom. But whenever Easter time comes, I don't see a lot of resurrection scenes, but I see a lot of Easter bunnies. We see a lot of bonnets and a lot of grass and a lot of eggs with paint all around them. Is that right? The white man has set up these artificial moments in time and has used the name of good and righteous people so that he could pimp the love you have for your mother on Mother's Day. So he can pimp the love you have for your father on Father's Day. And so that he can pimp the love that we have for Jesus on Easter and on Christmas. He pimps the love you got for your wife or your husband on Valentine's Day. Is that right? And what the white man has done is he has used Jesus' good name to shield his dirty religion. And what the enemy has done with these holidays, we can't really call them holidays because holly means holy. And holy means pure and untampered with. Holy means divine. Holy means that which came from God. Easter didn't come from God. Christmas didn't come from God. Valentine's Day didn't come from God. Halloween doesn't come from God. It comes from the paganistic practice of the nomads, the Vikings and the other tribes in the hills and caves of Europe that used the religion and the name of prophets to hide paganism underneath. Is that right? And you and me are telling our children, well, you know it's not that bad to tell them that Santa Claus came. It's just a little white lie. It's not that bad to tell them about an Easter bunny. It's just a little white lie. It's not that bad to dress up like a ghost or a goblin or whatnot on the last day of October. It's just in all good, honest fun. Is that right? And it's just a little white lie. Well, it don't matter what color the lie is or what size the lie is. A lie is a lie. And since the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us that the brain is made to think right, and there's 24 or 14 billion brain cells inside of a brain, and there's thoughts that move around these cells at 24 billion miles per second. If the brain is made to think right, and then not only is right a standard for what you compare to what's wrong, but right is a direction. If I tell you to make a right turn or go a few steps forward and then turn right, the clock is moving in a right direction. So if you've got a thought that is made to think right, the brain is made to function off of information that is moving clockwise around 14 billion brain cells at 24 billion miles per second. Well, if that thought that is true and right is designed to go that direction and a lie is contrary in nature and contrary in direction, then you and I are sending our brain against its own self. And if you drove a car at 80 miles per hour and slammed it in reverse, you would mess up the transmission. The transmission is that small part of the engine that allows the engine to interpret what gear it's supposed to be in. Each gear represents a certain speed that you need to move. So when you're in first gear, you go between 1 and 20 miles per hour. But if your transmission is messed up, you can't get into second gear to go 20 to 40 miles per hour. And if your transmission is messed up, you can't make it to fifth to get into 55 and 60 miles per hour. However, the destination you are trying to reach may have a time factor attached to it. You have to be there at a certain moment in time. Well, if your transmission is messed up and you need to be in fifth gear to get there to get the reward from your destination, then when you can't get into the right gear, you can't get where you need to go at the right time. Well, tell me that ain't what happened to black people. We are people that our mental transmission has been messed up because of lies and falsehood that have penetrated the minds and made us think in the opposite direction. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us, quick thinking, fast moving, clean inside and out, and being right down to the modern times. Why? Because we don't have time to move slow today. How you doing, black man? I'm just taking it easy. Taking it easy ain't gonna get freedom for black people. What's going on with y'all? Ain't slow motion, baby? We don't need no more slow motion. We don't need in the year 2006 with us being 400 years in America being made slaves for us to still talk to the world and advertise and popularize that we're just ordinary people. And maybe we should take it slow. We don't need to take it slow no more. We are behind. We have to speed it up. And the only way to speed it up is if something comes into our life that makes us think right. And our brain can move in the right direction. All praises are due to Allah. Do you know that because of the paganistic roots of all of the holidays that we celebrate, even though we go into it with good intention to extract love and brotherhood and Christ's love for him and love for mother and father, even though we go into it with that motive in mind, it is like a medicine that has been prescribed to us that has more side effects than it causes cure for. You ever seen the commercial? 30-second commercial. If you are suffering from rheumatism, just pop this pill and Vioxx. Will get rid of your rheumatoid arthritis. And then you see some old people jumping through the daisy patch. And jazz pops on in the background. And in a low voice. Now they tell you that the pill you pop can get rid of your rheumatoid arthritis. But then the jazz and the daisy patch and the old people springing forth from side to side. And in the backdrop, you are infatuated and distracted by the image and the music. But then they say, could cause headaches, bleeding ulcers, back problems, heart disease. Then they tell the sisters, that if you are pregnant, now look at this, this is what blew my mind. If you are pregnant or can be pregnant, ask everybody. Even if you got them tied and burned, somehow or another the seed of the black man finds a way to bust through. And the next thing you know, you're pregnant. Well, this is what the holidays have been for us. They have been a medicine to produce love, so they say. But they are a medicine that has more side effects than what they actually cure. When the white man came out with the drug Vioxx, he had researched and knew that it would cause more harm than it would help. So he continued to run from doctor to doctor, lawyer to lawyer, until he could find someone that would be willing to say that the drug was all right for people to take. $2.5 billion later, it comes out that people are dying from the drug. They knew it would kill people, but they wanted the $2.5 billion more than they respected your human life. Right now, you got cancer as an epidemic. 556,000 people a year die from cancer. But over 1 million people work in research or treatment centers because cancer exists. If you've got 500,000 people dying from cancer and 1 million people living from it. That's why there ain't no cure for it, because more people are living off of it than dying from it. They're not going to tell you that your water is giving you cancer. They're not going to tell you that the hog is giving you cancer. They're not going to tell you that the fast food, slow death restaurants are giving you cancer. They're not going to tell you that they have injected biological warfare into the black community. That's why you have cancer today. But they know that's the reason, but they won't come up with a cure because they make $69.4 billion a year off of cancer. Halloween, they're not going to tell you it's the devil's holiday. They make $3.2 million off of candy sales alone. So why would they tell you that Halloween came from the white man in the cave of Europe? They wanted to set up a day to contradict the holy day of Halo's Day. Halo's Day was a day where the righteous honored the righteous. So they came up with something called Halo's Eve or Halloween. And what they would do is beat on the doors of the righteous. And they would tell the righteous trick or a treat. Pay me off or we'll make sure your holy day tomorrow will be a hell of a day. And now we are dressing our children up in ghosts and goblins. Cutting pumpkins up on our porch. They're not going to tell you that it's from the devil and it's pagan because they make $3.2 billion off of it. They're not going to tell you that Valentine's Day was set up by a man obsessed with a woman in Europe. That got locked up because he was stalking a woman. I guess she had to get a restraining order on him. But while he was locked up, he was vying for the love of this particular woman who loved somebody else more than she loved him. So he wanted to prove that he loved her more than the other man. So he paid another prisoner to cut out his heart and mail his heart to his mate. And now you got chocolates in a heart shape. Now the symbol for Valentine's Day is a heart. They're not going to tell you that it's pagan because they make $2 billion or $1 billion a year off candy sales for Valentine's Day. They're not going to tell you that Christmas is not the celebration of Jesus, but Christmas really is a celebration of a man named Nimrod, who was the wickedest man that ever lived, the builder of Babylon, the establisher of Nineveh, a paganistic human being that broke Moses' civilization, took all of the divine work Moses did and then rewound it and abrogated it with pagan practice all over again. They're not going to tell you that because they make $200 billion a year from Christmas. There is no Santa Claus. The white man is playing mind games with you and me. Do you know that the word Santa Claus, if you were to drop the L, it would become the word cause. And if you would take the same letters in Santa and move the A and N around, it won't be Santa no more, but be Satan. Christmas is not for God. Christmas is Satan's cause. There is no fat white man in the North Pole that's going to have 8 reindeer delivering gifts to you and me in the projects when we don't even have a chimney. Stop lying to your children. Your children grow up and you want them to marry a certain man or a certain woman, but they remember back in the day when you lied to them. You said it was a fat white man that went all over the world in one night. 24-hour window of time. Do you know how fast he would have had to been going? Santa Claus would have had to been going 2,340,000 miles per hour to be able to make it to all the houses to give them some gifts. You ain't never seen no reindeer or nothing in creation move that fast. Is that right? But But the children don't want to believe because you told them that you put your tooth under the pillow. And this little skinny miniature white girl with some Kentucky Fried Chicken wings on her back, with a little magic wand gonna swoop in and put some money underneath the pillow. They don't want to listen to you no more, Mama and Daddy, because they remember the time. Huh? When you told them, don't worry about it, you'll fall in love one day. There'll be a little chubby white baby with nothing but diapers and wings on his back with a special bow and arrow. And he'll shoot you in your behind, and all of a sudden, abracadabra, a heart will pop above your head, and whoever you're looking at will be the one for you. They remember that. They remember you told them that there was this little white boy in a green outfit that would be at the end of the rainbow with a pot of gold. Huh? You lied to them about the rainbow. You lied to them about love. You lied to them about the gifts you gave. You lied to them about the tooth fairy. No wonder they don't want to listen to what we got to say no more, because you raised them on lies and they don't trust your judgment no more. Oh, praise are due to Allah. I tell you what, I better not find no white people flying around my house with no reindeer, no wand, no bow and arrow. Kill Cupid. All praise is due to Allah. They're not going to tell you that they lied, because just as it was with Vioxx, and just as it is with cancer, if I made $2.5 billion, I'm not going to tell you the truth and deny my hand that type of wealth. The white man's got a God complex. On his dollar bills, he writes, "In God we trust." But he's not talking about Jesus. He's not talking about Allah. He's not talking about Jehovah or Yahweh. He's talking about the worship of money. The white man lied to you and me to get your cousins into Iraq. They're not over there fighting for no democracy. They're not over there trying to free the women from oppression. They're over there trying to hijack the oil wells. Why? Because with the natural paradigm of the way global power moves in life, whoever controls the most needed natural resource is the natural world superpower. And since Saudi Arabia has more of the most needed natural resource, and Iraq number 2, and Iran number 3, they don't want to mess with Mecca, because they know for sure that if they mess with Mecca, all hell will break loose. You ain't seen a Taliban or an Al-Qaeda. You ain't seen nothing like what a come. So they played it safe, and they made a move on Iraq. Yes, they did. It was never about weapons of mass destruction. If you believe that you yourself are a victim of mass deception, I tell you something, I don't care nothing about no Taliban. I'm concerned with the Ku Klux Klan. I don't care nothing about Al-Qaeda. I'm concerned with Al Cracker. That's the one that's been giving us hell in North America, the one that called us a nigga. All praises are due to Allah. You say the Klan is dead. No, the Klan is alive and well. You just don't realize that culture has changed, but minds have not. Culture is the advancement of knowledge at a particular time in history. When a person becomes more sophisticated, more dignified, they upgrade the garment that they wear. It don't mean their mind has changed, but they have used a new outfit. So you don't think the Klan exists because you are looking for white sheets and robes. You don't think the Klan exists because you are looking for crosses to be burned in your yard. But the Klan have upgraded their garment. They're wearing blue police uniforms now. They're wearing black judges' robes. They're wearing white doctor smarts. Huh? They are chefs. They are chefs and architects. They are lawyers and doctors. They are judges and politicians. They are senators and congresspeople. And by the way America is going, they're even presidents of the United States of America. All praises are due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. The white man hired Jesus to be a marketing face for the spread of white supremacy. The same way that Nike did Jordan. They took a black man that had skill, that had a gift, that was so bad on the court that what he did when he came from the side, it looked like he could fly. Any man judging it would have to say it looked like the man was performing miracles on the basketball court. So Nike took a miracle worker of the basketball world and put his face on all of their shoes. And now he doesn't play anymore, but Nikes, all of them cost over $100 when they ain't worth but $5. They made a man and took his image, took his gift, took his skill and his talent, and made you think that if he wore it, you should wear it too. And they made you pay more for a product than what it was worth because they put a good man on the cover as a marketing tool. What did they do with Jesus? You wasn't going to buy white supremacy. You wasn't going to buy it if they brought it to your grill and said, you a nigger, you an ape, you a jungle bunny, you 3/5 of a human being, you are a second-class citizen. So they had to find a way to market that thing called white supremacy. So they took Jesus' name and used it as a marketing tool. The first time they tried him out was in 1555. And they put his name on a ship named Jesus. And they seen, oh man, the Negroes love him. They love Jesus so much that even though we are people that they ain't never met before, because I'm asking them to get on a ship named Jesus, they willing to ride with me. We were sent or brought 9,000 miles from our homeland. We lost almost 300 million in the Middle Passage on a ship named Jesus. So they used him as a marketing tool to kidnap us from Africa. Is that right? Then we got here and they used a concocted spiritual system called Christianity that really ain't what Jesus taught. No, it is not. It's really churchianity. It shouldn't even have Christ's name on it. They took his name and they used it to shield their dirty religion. Why, Muhammad, did you call it their dirty religion? It's because Muhammad didn't make it. Job didn't make it. Moses and Abraham wasn't a part of it. It was a concocted version of white supremacy in the name of God, in the name of the prophets. And they used Jesus' good name to sell us Christianity. Are y'all all right? Then they put his name on Easter. They put his name on Christmas. And now you and me walking around thinking that today is the resurrection day. And you going to church, but you don't realize the side effects for what he gave you. Do more harm than the medicine does good. What are those side effects? Easter comes from a pagan practice named after the goddess of fertility. She was called the sex god. Did you hear me? The white folks that were dumb in the cave, yeah, they were very dumb. They believed that as the earth during spring could bring birth, to more fruit, flowers, and vegetation, then women were more fertile too. So in celebration of the goddess of fertility, right when spring was coming in, they would have orgies. Easter and Astarte sound just alike. they would take women and dress them up in the bright colored clothing. And the women would run into the wilderness and hide behind bushes, hide behind the grass, hide behind the trees. And then the men will be released at a later time for them to go and hunt for these women that they could find behind the grass and the tree and under the bridge and whatnot. And any woman that they found, then they were engaged in immoral, intimate conduct with them. Y'all all right? When a woman is to become pregnant, the sperm has to reach what is called the ovary or the egg. So women then were dressed up in bright clothes, and now the egg is dressed up in bright colors. Men then would go and hunt for the women. Now your children are out there hunting for the Easter egg. And whatever they find, they get to eat. Likewise, whatever white folks found. But they're not going to tell you that because they make $10.5 billion a year off of Easter clothes and $1.9 billion off of Easter candy. They're not going to compromise that type of money for the sake of protecting your brain. They don't care nothing about the minds of the people. They care about their pocket and the keeping of the monopoly of money in control of the wicked 1% population that has 50% of the wealth of the earth. All praise are due to Allah. So the white man lied about what color Jesus was, didn't he? You see them watch the Passion of the Christ. White folks in there having heart attacks. White folks in there crying. There's a new movie called The Black Jesus. The color of the cross. Let's see how many crackers cry in that one. Let's see how many white people have heart attacks in that one. That is the real picture of Jesus. But because they are used to seeing it in their own subconscious genetic coding, the lynching of a black man, the raping of black people, the cattle prodding of black people, to see a Jesus black being crucified, they won't resonate no sympathy in white folks' heart. They lied about when Jesus was born, didn't they? They say he was born December the 25th. But the Bible don't teach that. The Bible says in the book of Luke 1:26 that John the Baptist was 6 months older than his cousin Jesus. And John the Baptist was born in March, April, May, June, July, August, September. He was born in September. Y'all with me? The Bible says shepherds were tending to their flock when Jesus was born. Shepherds don't tend to their flock outside the month of September. So he had to be born not December the 25th, but sometime in September. Jesus was a black man. The fact that they call him Jesus of Bethlehem tells you that he was black. The word Beth means house, and El-Ele means God, and Ham means black. So Bethlehem was named Bethlehem because it's where Jesus lived. And Bethlehem put together means the house of a black God. He had hair like lamb's wool. All praises are due to Allah. He had feet like brass burned in the oven. His mother was an Egyptian woman. He was a black child, a black savior. Are y'all all right? They lied about what color he was. They lied about when he was born. They lied about how he was born. Yes, they did. I know you believe what the white man told you. See, the white man is very tricky. He uses spookism and poetic language to tie your mind up and make you to not rationalize or logically perceive mathematically the working of God in his hand. So we don't believe that God works naturally. We only believe that it's supernatural if it's God, And if it's God, it got to be supernatural. Is that right? But God follows the law that he gave you and me. What father would you be, black man, if you tell your children don't smoke? Don't smoke, but you smoke. What type of mother would you be, black woman, if you told your daughter don't wear that? Don't wear clothes like that, but you wear clothes like that. It is a natural social law that says children won't do what you say. They'll do what you do. Well, we are all God's children of the Most High God. Jesus said, pray on this wise, our Father who art in heaven. That means that you sons of God, you daughters of God, we children of God, and God is our Father. Well, what type of father would God be to tell us to not commit fornication, to not commit adultery? But he came in the darkness of the night. And he came up on Mary and impregnated her with child. God is a fornicator now? No, it's something else to that needs to be looked into. It was an immaculate conception. But when a man is fresh to death, when a man is clean, when a sister is looking good, you say, boy, that sister is immaculate. Oh, that brother is immaculate. Why? Because immaculate means clean. It was a clean-minded man that produced a clean seed, that put that clean mind and clean seed into a clean womb of a clean woman called Mary. And because the clean mind of the man and woman made clean seed and womb, they brought birth to an immaculate child that was clean called Jesus the Christ. All praise is due to Allah. Jesus, Paul, when he talked about Jesus, he said Jesus was the seed of David according to the flesh. Is that right? But he was declared to be the Son of God from the Spirit of holiness. Is that right? So there's two different types of fathering going on. There's one that is a biological father, and the other is a spiritual one. One that is working on the development of the liver, the lungs, the heart, the kidneys, the skin, the bone. One working on the hands and the feet and the body, but another working on the internal qualities and the character and the predisposition of the mind for greatness. So one is called the physical father, but he's the spirit or the Son of God because of the spirit of holiness, shaped and molded and predetermined his character in the womb of his mother. You all right? Jesus said, I am of the root and offspring of David. Mary was not in the bloodline of David, but Joseph was. The Holy Quran, the best friend of the Bible. See, when you read both Holy Quran and Bible, that's how you really get power. You, my dear Christian sisters and brothers, don't be so spiritually immature that you think that you can't roll with nothing but the New Testament. And those that call yourself Jew or Hebrew, don't be so spiritually child-minded where you're only going to follow the Torah. And Muslim world, don't be so spiritually immature that if it ain't Quran, I don't want it. We in the Nation of Islam don't function like that. We believe in all of the prophets of God and all of the revealed word that came from it. Whether it be in Genesis or Habakkuk or Revelations, or whether it be in Al-Nas or Al-Fatiha. We believe that every prophet of God spoke on behalf of God, so we follow the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Holy Quran. All praise are due to Allah. All praise are due to Allah. Jesus was the seed of David, the offspring of David. Y'all with me? Jesus was a man. A male. Not a sissy. Not a fad. But a man. Did I say that somewhere? When you study the hormone makeup and chromosome makeup of male and female. Man has inside of himself male X and Y chromosome. Is that right? Sisters, you have 2 X's. Right? If Jesus was a male child, and the only human being that was used in the bringing birth to Jesus was a female named Mary, and the other agent was a spirit, where did Jesus get the Y chromosome from? If the spirit and a woman came together, then a woman should have been born. But if a man child was born, then somebody had to give him the Y chromosome. You all right? I'm saying all of this to say, brothers and sisters, that if he lied about his birth, when he was born, how he was born, lied about his color, it's a strong possibility that he is lying about this resurrection that we are talking about right now. All praise is due to Allah. This is the reason why I want to talk to you today about a very, very controversial subject titled A Georgia-Born God. If you and me have a Bible and Holy Quran and we're not able to see ourselves, it ain't no sense in reading it no more. If you have a Bible and Holy Quran and the only thing that you can do is quote the historical occurrences of the acts of God, then you don't need the Bible or Holy Quran. In fact, if that's all you can do with the Bible and Holy Quran is use it as a scriptural historical document, it'd be better for you to throw both of them in the trash can and hit the devil with the trash can. You say, you Muslims, I just goes by my Bible. That's the problem. We've been going by it and not into it. We go by it on the fireplace. We go by it on the bookshelf. We go by it in the back of the window when we get in the car. But we have not gone into it. We have not looked into the deep wisdom of the scripture. Do you realize that the word Bible, the prefix is bi? If a person is bipolar, they got 2 personalities. Is that right? If you have a bicycle, it's got 2 wheels. Is that right? Well, if you have a Bible, it's got more than one interpretation. Y'all with me? The wisdom of God is not laying around on top of the surface. The wisdom of God, you got to dig for it. Solomon said unto the people that would read about him, he said, study the ant, thou sluggard, and learn of her ways. Huh? The Holy Quran says there's a message in creation. Is that right? For those who believe, there's a sign in creation for those who reflect. That means that people should be able to read nature like we read a book and be able to unfold, unlock, and unveil the principles that nature is governed by and figure out the principles that we should employ to govern ourselves. Well, if there's a message in creation and we should study nature and study the ant, then how is it that whenever you look for valuable things in creation, none of it's laying around? You want gold, you got to dig for it. You want diamonds, you got to dig for it. You want a pearl, you got to go deep into the ocean. Find the oyster with the pearl and pull it out. Everything that God has put in creation that has value attached to it, you got to go beyond the surface and go dig into to find. Well, if you want value out of the Old Testament, value out of the New Testament or Holy Quran, you can't just read it. You got to read into it so that you can see yourself, your time, and your people. All praise are due to Allah. The Bible and the Holy Quran are witnesses of revelation from Almighty God Allah. There is no wisdom in the world more powerful than the wisdom of God. No professor's knowledge, no scholar's knowledge, No historian, no anthropologist knows better than the Lord of the worlds. In fact, whenever there was to be a calculation to see the distance or the difference between the world's wisdom and God's wisdom, he said, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. For as the heaven is far from the earth, so are my thoughts and ways far removed from your thoughts and ways. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has caused us to see and understand that we live on a planet, 24,896 miles in circumference, traveling at 1,037 1/3 miles per hour, made up of 57,255,000 square miles of land, 139,685,000 square miles of water. That the stars that we are looking at came into existence 72 trillion years ago. The moon was put out there 66 trillion years ago. And the sun 78 trillion years ago. He has caused us to see that if we were to go to the border of what is called universe from Earth, then the universe is 76 quintillion miles in diameter. That means that the wisdom of God, the way of God, is 76 quintillion miles away from the people of the world's wisdom and way. So you can't follow people. The Bible, when it talks about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, Jesus described it under the parable of water. Huh? Yes, he did. So you think that you're going to get saved by getting dumped into a baby swimming pool at the church? Huh? You don't know why you did it. You just did it because mama and them will be proud of you. Huh? And you and your partner start talking. Then neither one of y'all want to do it. But you said to your partner, look, I'll do it if you do it. Huh? And your partner said, your sister friend said to you, I ain't ready. You scared. No, I ain't scared. Matter of fact, I'll do it this Sunday. Well, I'm going to bring my jeans just in case. Huh? And you only got dipped because you thought that it would please grandmama. You only got dipped because you thought it would satisfy the soul of your mother. You only got dipped because somebody had told you it was the right thing to do. Am I telling the truth? But there was no difference before you went in and when you came out. You was a Negro when you went into the water. And you was the same Negro but cold and wet when you came up out the water. All praise is due to Allah. Jesus said that I was baptized in the water, but you shall be baptized in the Spirit. Y'all with me? So the dipping 3 times in the Sea of Galilee yesterday will be interpreted to dipping up the mind into the knowledge and wisdom and understanding that we need to move through life. Jesus being dipped in water didn't make him a great man. John the Baptist was commissioned by God to prepare Jesus for his work. Jesus being dipped in the water don't prepare him to go against King Herod. You being dipped into a Sea of Galilee don't help you to deal with a Judas factor among your group. It don't help you to overcome a doubting Thomas. You being dipped into the water don't help you make the blind see, or the deaf hear, or the dumb speak, or the lame walk. The only way you can do that type of work and deal with that type of opposition is if somebody is teaching you something. So John the Baptist wasn't dipping his body. He was dipping his mind into a wisdom that will prepare him to deal with the forces that was going to come against him as he moved through the world striving to raise us up. Are y'all all right? The Holy Quran compares knowledge to water too. It says if all the trees were pens and all the oceans or seas ink with 7 more added to it. Man, that's a lot of ink and a lot of trees. It's over 10,000 species of trees. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to us that the Pacific Ocean is 68,634,000 square miles. The Atlantic Ocean is 321,000 square miles. The Indian Ocean is 29,430,000 square miles. And the lakes and rivers are 1,000,000 square miles. That's a lot of water. If you were to look at your Bible or look at your Holy Quran, that is the weight of wisdom of a small puddle and the working of 2 or 3 regular pins. But if the wisdom of Allah is as broad as all the seas with 7 more added to it, and all the trees with 7 more added to them, and you still couldn't exhaust the wisdom of God, you need more than just what you've been taught. Don't tell me you can't believe what we say, because we don't show you a special, specific Bible verse to justify. The Bible don't have all the truth of God. Don't tell me, Muslim world, you're not going to follow us because I don't see it in the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran ain't all the wisdom of God. God's wisdom is bigger than the Bible, bigger than the Holy Quran, bigger than any word that has ever been recorded in any book. All praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. That which we are teaching in the Nation of Islam is not religion. Religion is a fraud. Religion is a hustle. Religion is a game. Religion is big pimping. They are misery max and pain pimps in the pulpit. They help you to be happy about how handicapped you are. Don't worry about your problems. God is going to make a way. Don't worry about your finances. God is going to make a way. Don't worry about your marriage. God is going to make a way. And you sitting at home waiting for some white boy to come floating out the sky that's been bleeding for 2,000 years to come to your door and touch your pocketbook, touch your bank account, touch your marriage, and everything going to be okay. It ain't going to be okay. Solomon said, get knowledge, for it is the principal thing. And with all thine gettings, get understanding. You are not going to be able to work a miracle from God if you ain't striving to work it yourself before God intervenes. He's a helper and an aider, not an active participant before you step up and do something for self. All praise are due to Allah. Do you realize that the wisdom of God is bigger than both? Bible and Holy Quran. Here you got a Pacific Ocean, Atlantic, Indian, lakes, and rivers. Do you realize that not only are they that wide, but they have a depth to them too? Huh? If I wanted to determine how much water was in here, I couldn't just measure the surface. I got to measure the depth too to come up with the volume. Do you realize that the Pacific Ocean is more than 14,000 feet deep? The Atlantic Ocean is more than 13,000 feet deep. And the Indian Ocean is more than 12,000 feet deep. If you turned all of that into ink and all the trees and the pins, you still couldn't exhaust the wisdom of God. Don't tell me that we can't teach what we teach. What we are teaching is the wisdom of God that came before Bible, Holy Quran, before prophets and messengers, and before any need of these realities was present in the world. All praise are due to Allah. There's been 124,000 prophets in the last 6,000 years. But look at the world. It don't look like nobody did nothing. Huh? The prophets of God brought revelation. Revelation is compared to rainwater. Why? Because if you put your water hose on your yard for 8 hours, 30 minutes of rainwater could do more cultivation than 8 hours of tap water. So it is with the wisdom that comes from God. The wisdom of God for a small piece of it could do more than all the study you could do in the library. It could grow the seed of God in you better than any knowledge can. Revelation is called rain because just as the moon and the sun have magnetic powers on the earth's waters, and they pull the earth's waters into the air, into a mist that the naked eye cannot detect. And that sun, the heat of the sun of 14,072 degrees, begins to heat the water that is being gathered into a cloud. and it purifies that water. And when the water gets heavier than the pull of gravity, it distills back to the earth in a purer form than what it went up to the heaven in. So it is with the wisdom of God. The wisdom of God is a pure form of knowledge that has been purified by the mind of God before it ever was sprinkled onto the mind of man. So when it hits the mind of man, it does more for you than anything you can learn from anywhere else. Are y'all all right? It was not something wrong with the prophet or the revelation. It was something wrong with the people that received the revelation. We have seen that as the rain in the water. That's why I don't know why you don't get scared when the hailstorm comes. You gotta take a hit of your inhaler. Crying. A Muslim should never be afraid, first of all. I'm going to tell you what makes us so dangerous. What makes the Muslims so dangerous is that we love death more than we love life. See, once you got a person willing to die for what they believe in, you can't put no plea bargain on the table. You cannot cut no deal in the back room to make me snitch. You cannot make me turn state's evidence on my sister or brother. I die before I be a hypocrite.